And at number 10, Jamie Lynn Spears. Jamie Lynn became a household name when she starred on the hit Nickelodeon show Zoey 101. It seemed like her career was going to take off and she would join the ranks of huge Hollywood actors, but that all changed when Jamie Lynn announced that she was pregnant at just 16 years old. Instead of chasing her Hollywood dreams, Jamie Lynn decided to step back from the spotlight to raise her child. After this decision, Jamie Lynn was quickly forgotten about. She later told Glamour about the decision, quote, "I just wanted to get away from it as much as I could, to just go away and be a mom and figure out what I wanted, and to earn a sense of respect back for myself. Moved to a town in the middle of nowhere and just raised my child. All I could be was a good mother." This move resulted in Jamie Lynn getting married and having 2 children. However, even though Jamie tries to keep a low profile, she is still a public figure. This became even more obvious when she was recently hounded online over her sister's Free Britney movement. And at number 9, Shirley Temple. Whenever I think of Shirley Temple, I think of my fond memories watching her as a kid. She was so talented it's truly hard to wrap your head around. Temple is probably the most famous child actor ever, with her starring in numerous films a year while she was only a child. However, once Shirley started to grow up and phase out of her classic youthful look, her career started to decline. After years of trying to break out of her typecasting and get back to the success she had as a kid, Shirley decided to give up on acting and retired from the business at the age of 22. But her career as a public servant was just starting. She later became the US ambassador to Ghana and Czechoslovakia. She was also the first woman to hold the position of Chief of Protocol of the United States under President Ford. And at number 8, Frankie Muniz. Frankie Muniz is another star that made a name for himself while he was just a kid, starring in the hit show Malcolm in the Middle. But after many years as an actor, he decided he wanted a change of pace and he decided to become a race car driver. He was so good he even competed in the Las Vegas Grand Prix. According to People, he has endured several concussions from competing in the dangerous sport, and in 2009, he suffered a serious car crash. This ultimately led to 2 mini strokes, one in 2009 and one in 2012. Because of this, he has experienced some memory loss, but his family helps him fill in the pieces. At one point he said he would return for a Malcolm in the Middle reboot, but that has not happened yet. And at number 7, Taylor Momsen. Taylor Momsen was first known to the world for her character Jenny on Gossip Girl, where fans grew to love her girl next door look. However, as the years went on, Jenny changed dramatically on and off the show. Apparently while she was still on the show, she decided she wanted to quit acting to focus on her music career. In 2011, she officially quit and started recording with her band The Pretty Reckless. Momsen told the Daily Beast in 2014, quote, "When I got to a place where I realized I was in control of my own life and had just found the right band and everything was coming to fruition, it wasn't even a question. I was going to quit my day job." She continued that thankfully producers wrote her out of the show and supported her decision to leave the show early. And at number 6, Kevin Jonas. The Jonas Brothers will always be my first crush, and as the brothers have grown up and gone in and out of the spotlight, it seems that Kevin has not really returned. After the brothers decided to break up their band in 2013, Kevin decided to go back home to New Jersey and earn a more traditional living. He created an app called Lloyd, which displayed nearby restaurants serving the type of food that you pick from a menu. It also featured the restaurant's Yelp rating and phone number so you can conveniently place an order. He also made a real estate development company where he builds custom homes. And this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to his entrepreneurial efforts. When the brothers briefly got back together, Kevin was present, but he's now gone back to civilian life, while Nick and Joe maintain celebrity status. Halfway number 5, Nikki Blonsky. Nikki Blonsky's success was something out of a movie. She auditioned for the movie Hairspray in an open casting call and managed to snag the part over thousands of other people. She was just a regular girl whose world got turned upside down. And you would never know it because of how great she played the role. After her breakout success from the movie, she experienced some lulls in her career and wasn't able to gain the same success again. At one point she even needed to get a real job again to pay her bills. This theory gained traction when a picture went viral showing Blonsky sweeping up in a salon. Then in December of 2011, she tweeted out, quote, "It's true I'm working at Superstar Salon as a makeup artist, and more I'm proud to be working and helping pay bills, but I'll never lose sight of my dreams." And at number 4, Mara Wilson. Mara Wilson was the adorable girl who played the part of Matilda in the 90s movie that stole all of our hearts. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. Wilson became a star overnight and even got a place in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. But even though her whole career was ahead of her, her dreams were not to act. She decided to quit acting at the height of her career to pursue her true love, which is writing. She's now a published author and has released a book about her life. Wilson is also a spokeswoman for depression, anxiety, and other mental disorders, as well as the LGBTQ community. And at number 3, Kris Humphries. Kris Humphries was somewhat famous while he was a basketball player, even making some pretty good money in the process. But his fame exploded when it was rumored that he was dating Kim Kardashian, which we now turned into an epic disaster. The pair got married quickly, but got divorced even faster. And after their uber lavish wedding, Kim filed for divorce only 72 days later. But after his life became a public spectacle, Humphries couldn't deliver the way he wanted to on the court and decided to retire from basketball in 2019. Since he was very well known in the sport, he easily could have went into broadcasting or even coaching, but he decided to retire out of the spotlight, and now he's a real estate agent along with a franchisee of Crisp & Green, a health food restaurant chain based in Minnesota. And at number 2, Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz first made a name for herself in Hollywood after she starred in the hit movie The Mask. She then went on to star in huge movies like There's Something About Mary and Charlie's Angels. She was last on the big screen when she starred in 2014's Annie. A few years later in 2018, she announced she had retired from acting. She explained that she really didn't miss performing. She also had recently become a mother at that time and wanted to focus on her family. She also explained on the Goop podcast that she wanted to be independent and navigate the world as an adult on her own, even adding that the movie business babied her, making her live her life the way that they wanted her to. She now runs a successful wine company called Aveline, which is a clean wine company. And finally, number 1, Meghan Markle. I guess calling Meghan Markle's life normal is a bit of a stretch, but she did leave the acting business to pursue a different venture as a member of the British royal family. Meghan became a household name while she was playing the character of Rachel Zane on Suits for 7 seasons. While she was filming the show, a friend of hers set her up on a blind date with Prince Harry of all people. They fell in love and decided to get married. One condition of the marriage is that Meghan would have to give up her celebrity status, move to London, and dedicate herself to the royal family. So she decided to leave the show early and start her new life as a royal, although the decision brought her even more attention than she ever had before. Because of all the scrutiny the couple received in and out of the family, they decided to leave the royal family shortly after, and they are now back in LA, embracing their celebrity status once again.
Starting off our list, number 10 is Danny Lloyd. For decades, people have been wondering whatever happened to the kid from the iconic horror movie The Shining. Like legit, horror fans have actually asked the author, Stephen King, where the kid went. Turns out he left the Hollywood glitz and glam to become a pig farmer and a science teacher. No, this is not a joke. Danny was only 5 years old at the time when he took on the role as Danny Torrance in the 1980 classic and reached fame almost instantly. But he didn't seem to want it. He is now in his 40s and is happily married with 6 children. In 2013, he did his first interview since he was a kid with Daily News, where he opened up about his now normal life. He said that people don't recognize him when he goes out in public, and he loves that. He explained that he did continue acting after The Shining, but ended up giving up when he was a teenager because it was just too difficult. He said, "We kept trying for several years until I was in high school, and I stopped at about 14 with almost no success." Danny says he enjoyed being in the movie, but went on to work at a local Walmart after, and then drove a tractor on a hog farm. Now he is teaching biology at a community college outside of Louisville. Fans were hoping to see him reprise his role for the upcoming sequel, Dr. Sleep, but sadly he is sitting this one out. Coming into number 9 is Mara Wilson. She is best remembered for playing Matilda in the 1996 film titled after her character. Kids were quick to fall in love with her character and the magical powers that came with it. In fact, we are still talking about Matilda to this day. Earlier this year, there was a trending game called the Matilda Challenge, which had people making videos of them dancing around the room and pretending to make objects move. Just like her iconic scene from the movie, which I totally loved. The challenge went viral and Marley even reacted to them.
I'm glad they get it.
Matilda challenge! Oh, Matilda! Matilda!
I love that they know it! I'm amazed that there were several of them who just got it right away without knowing.
But regardless of how fun her character was, Marla would disagree, which is why she quit the business just a few years after the movie brought her fame. In one of her blogs in 2012, she wrote, "Here's something no real celebrity will ever tell you. Film acting is not very fun." Well then, after leaving Hollywood, she went on to live a normal life and found a passion for writing. In 2013, she was asked if she would return to acting, and her response was, "No, I don't think so. I do act sometimes, sometimes in friends' projects, but when I do, it's just for fun. It is actually a hobby for me now. We haven't seen her on the big screen in a long time, but she continues to work on screenplays and novels. Swiping the number 8 spot is Shirley Temple. She began acting at the young age of 3 and became Hollywood's biggest box office child star in the 30s. I mean, who hasn't heard of Shirley Temple? I'm pretty sure we were all sick of her song Animal Crackers in My Soup after singing it every time that we had a bowl of soup as a kid. Or maybe that was just me. By the time she was 12, she starred in 43 movies and tons of commercials. But by the time she was 22 years old, she decided she wanted to retire from acting. She ended up changing her career path entirely and ran for Congress in 1967. She lost, but then 2 years later, she was appointed to represent the US at the United Nations. She then became the US ambassador to Ghana from 1974 to 1976. Who would have thought the Animal Cracker Girl would end up in politics? Sadly, she did pass away in 2014 at the age of 85, but her memory lives on forever. In Hollywood and in politics. Talk about a life full of achievements there. At number 7 is Jeff Cohen. The child star was famously known for his role as Chunk in The Goonies, which is one hell of a classic movie. The movie came out in 1985 and he continued his acting career up until 1991, so if you do the math, that is a total of 6 years. Not very long. He's been asked on numerous occasions why he left the industry. He cracks jokes saying that puberty forced him into early retirement as a child actor. He explains that as he got older, finding work was a lot more difficult. The roles were different and the competition increased as he got more involved in the industry. But once acting was out of the picture, he found a passion for law and attended the University of California, Berkeley, earning a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. He had no problem leaving the world of Hollywood behind. He ended up becoming a lawyer, and in 2008 he was named one of the top 35 executives under 35 years of age. So he's a successful one at that. He says that acting has benefited his legal career because it makes him more empathetic for his clients and less academic. Basically meaning that he can show more emotion. I feel that. Here we are at number 6 with Kay Panabaker. She made her on-screen debut when she was 12 years old. She first became popular after taking on the role as Nikki in the Summerland TV series and then later on as Jenny in the 2009 Fame movie remake. She also starred alongside her sister Danielle Panabaker for a few Disney Channel shows and movies. But throughout her time filming, she was also going through school and trying to do advanced courses. She actually graduated from high school at the age of 13. So she was one smart little cookie, which might be why she decided to leave her acting career and go to school full time. She ended up going to the UCLA and studied zoology. From there, she got her dream job as an animal keeper at Disney's Animal Kingdom. The now 29-year-old has said that she doesn't regret her decision and loves what she's doing now. I mean, that's a pretty sweet gig. Halfway through the list at number 5 is Peter Ostrom. You might remember him as Charlie Bucket from the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory movie back in 1971. He was only 12 years old when he got selected to play the role, and although he enjoyed working on it, he decided not to sign a 3-film contract once the movie was over. He returned home after filming the movie and just never felt the desire to go back, continue to pursue his acting career. He says being at home sparked an interest in horses and he wanted to become a veterinarian one day instead. He ended up going to Cornell University College of Veterinary Medicine in 1984 to receive his certificate. Later on in 2005, he moved to New York with his wife and 2 children, and as of 2018, he works out of the Countryside Veterinarian Clinic. As for acting, he says that he wanted to live a normal life and had declined reporters and interviews for a very long period of time. He explained, saying, "I wanted people to judge me on who I was, not what I'd done." He even said that sometimes in his childhood, he lied and told people that it was his brother in the movie, not him. I wonder how many people actually fell for that and believed him. Next up at number 4 is Ariana Richards. She will forever be remembered for her role as Lex Murphy in the 1993 Jurassic Park. She was only 14 years old when she booked the role. She just so happened to be one of the grandchildren of Jurassic Park's creator. Talk about having some connections. She actually started her acting career 6 years before Jurassic Park, but it was the one role that put her name on the map. Basically, it was her big break. After that, she appeared in multiple movies and also had a cameo appearance in The Lost World Jurassic Park. But she decided that her last on-screen appearance would be in 2001 as she sparked a new interest for painting. She went on to graduate from Skidmore College and she now runs her own art gallery. The artist is now 40 years old and is married to Mark Bolton, who she shares a daughter with. Coming into our number 3 spot is Jake Lloyd. The child star had a good career going after starring in 4 episodes of ER back in 1996, but his breakthrough role was playing Anakin Skywalker in the 1999 Star Wars The Phantom Menace. The 8-year-old had some big shoes to fill at such a young age because we all know how crazy and passionate Star Wars fans are. He had to play this sweet innocent kid but also show a dark side that would be convincing enough for him to grow up to become Darth Vader. After his first Star Wars appearance, he reprised his role as Anakin's voice for 5 video games, but Jake stopped his acting career by the time he was was 12 years old. His life took a turn down a dark path and he was arrested in 2015 for reckless driving after a high-speed car chase. He was charged with reckless driving, failure to stop, resisting arrest, and driving without a license. In 2016, TMZ reported that he was transferred from jail to a psychiatric facility after a diagnosis of schizophrenia. When speaking with the Daily Telegraph, he spoke about his Star Wars days, saying that kids bullied him at school because of it, so he ended up destroying any memories he actually had from the filming experience. This one wasn't really a happy ending. In spot number 2 is Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. Twins are a 2-for-1 deal, so they are taking one spot on this list. The twins were infants when they stole hearts playing Michelle Tanner on the hit TV series Full House back in 1987. They were 9 years old when the series ended, so basically their entire childhood from birth was on a film set. From there, they started their own brand simply by being the Olsen twins, where they made a collection of Mary-Kate and Ashley movies. I have all of them on DVD. They also had their own TV shows called So Little Time and Two of a Kind, but their last on-screen performance together was back in 2004, where they did their first theatrical release movie, New York Minute. These two were wildly famous. They were actually billionaires by the time that they were teenagers, owning their own clothing line on top of all their film success. But they didn't want that to last forever. They announced in 2012 that they officially retired from acting and now focus on their fashion line called Elizabeth and James. They still remain in the public eye to an extent in the fashion world, but they keep their life very low-key. We barely hear or see anything about them anymore. Taking the number 1 place on our list is Macaulay Culkin. Every kid in the world knows him as the kid from Home Alone. He will always hold a place in our hearts for playing Kevin McAllister in those classic Christmas movies. And although he's mainly known for that series, he also appeared in 8 other feature films between the years 1990 to 1994. The kid was a huge star. He went on to make a guest appearance on the NBC sitcom Will and Grace and starred in the movie Party Monster. Many would say his acting career was solid from there on out, but then, which felt like kind of out of nowhere, he quit acting. He wanted to live a normal life and ended up moving to Paris, where he spends most of his time writing, painting, and working on a podcast called Bunny Ears with his friend Matt Cohen. After going MIA for many years, he has now made his way back into the limelight to share his story, but he hasn't really came for all the fame part of it. He's actually thrilled when people don't recognize him or bring up the Home Alone movies. He told The Blast, "I was going to Paris for a little while and I thought people didn't recognize me. But then it was like, no, we recognize you, we just don't care." And I was like, where have you been my whole life? I think we're so used to seeing celebrities in the spotlight that it's hard to believe that some don't actually enjoy it. Starting us off at number 10 is Chloe Couture. Her name is Chloe Feldman, a 22-year-old with millions of subscribers, which she built over 9 years on the platform. She first launched her channel when she was just 14 years old, and since then she has handled it like a full-time job. But in February of this year, she announced that she'd be leaving the platform and focusing on a music career instead. Fans are really confused because it just seemed like kind of sudden, but she said she no longer felt a connection to her videos. 9 years ago, she started her channel because she enjoyed the platform and the connection she felt, but now said, I quote, "I was growing my channel more than I was growing myself." That's some truth. That should be like a quote in a frame. Don't you think? I was growing my social media, but I wasn't growing myself. It's magical. It has been 5 months since her final goodbye video on her channel, and it seems like she hasn't looked back since. Next up at number 9 is Fred. Now the person behind the Fred character is actually Lucas Cruikshank. He created a character named Fred Figglehorn, who was a dysfunctional 6-year-old with a very high-pitched voice. Kinda like that, but not really. He would make different videos in character of Fred, of his life stories, and doing these day-to-day activities. People loved his character, and it even appeared on TV shows like iCarly. But then, in 2014, he decided he wanted to lose the character and start posting videos as himself, Lucas. So he continued with his YouTube channel, but no longer kept Fred. But the following year, in 2015, he walked away from the channel altogether. Fans thought they were going to lose him altogether, but he now lives a more normal life and creates 1 video a week on a new channel called Lucas, where he came out as gay and now vlogs his new life. Up next, number 8 is Smosh. It was one of the biggest comedy channels on YouTube at one point in time, and fans were devastated when the co-founder Anthony Padillo announced that he was leaving. After 11 years of collaborating with his co-creator Ian Heckox, he walked away because it no longer brought him excitement. He said, "When I first started, it was just me being excited about creating things. It wasn't about numbers numbers. He specifically said he wanted to branch off from comedy. After leaving Smosh, he actively pursued an acting career and eventually returned to making YouTube videos, but on his own channel as Anthony Badillo. So even though he walked away from Smosh, people could still enjoy a new side to him as an individual. And spot number 7 is Dave Days. The man behind the channel is Dave Kolditz, who gained fame on YouTube for his comedic pop punk covers and parodies of trending songs in the pop culture. His videos gained so much popularity that he got the attention of Miley Cyrus, who ended up making a cameo appearance in his music video for his song Last Song. But he hasn't posted on his Dave Days channel in 12 years because he left the platform to pursue his own music career. He started using social media to post real cover songs and uploaded his music to streaming services. He also started hosting a free online class called Musician.life, where he teaches amateur artists how to become successful in the music industry. Moving on to number 6, we have Shaytards. They were a popular family vlogging channel before they decided to shut down their channel in 2017. The parents of the family, Colette and Shay Carl Butler, posted a video titled Change, a mostly unedited raw conversation, where they talked about their plans to shut down the channel. They simply said they wanted to live as a normal family and not to do it in front of a worldwide audience anymore. However, some drama was exposed when it was revealed that Shay had an affair with famous cam girl Araya Nina. Text messages were exposed between them, but Shay says that he was baited by Araya into sending the messages. They ended up coming back after a year, still remaining as a family, but then left again 1 year later, and it has been over a year since they posted on their channel. So I think they're goners. Halfway through the list, number 5 is the Toy Channel and Biebers Media. The man behind these channels is Mike Mozart. His channel first became known for doing toy reviews and reactions, different stuff like that. But his Biebers Media channel went silent 10 years ago after he just decided to quit YouTube. The Toy Channel continued for some years after that, but it went silent 3 years later. People online started asking if he was dead, and tons of rumors went around about what happened to him. Then on September 15th, 2015, he made a video titled Mike Mozart is live and back on the Toy Channel on YouTube reviewing toys. I'm not dead. He explained that he left YouTube and was secretly collaborating with artists throughout the years, and that his artwork made it on a clothing line which was released at Forever 21. He continued to make some live stream videos, which he streamed on YouNow, not YouTube. As for YouTube, he hasn't been on it for years. Cruising into number 4, we have the Nive Nulls. Austin and Brittany Knoll were the popular Christian vlogging couple that won the hearts of many people by sharing their life and family on YouTube. But then Austin got caught cheating twice, which is very Christian-like behavior, by the way. This resulted in the end of their channel and also their marriage. The first cheating scandal happened in 2015 when racy photos and videos were leaked of him communicating, we'll say, with a cam girl. Less than 2 years later, more videos and photos leaked, and he took full responsibility for it and admitted the divorce was his decision. They both went their separate ways, but Brittany was a badass and she rebranded the entire channel and renamed it Brit Space. I checked it out, it has like over 300,000 subscribers, so you go girl. You take that cheating man out of your life and then you make your own channel. I love it. What a happy story. Alright guys, and the third spot is Asina O'Neil. She's a former Instagram model who actually went viral on YouTube for deciding that she didn't want to go viral. That sounds very confusing. I know, I will explain. Not only did she pull the plug on her YouTube channel though, she quit social media altogether. She posted a farewell video titled Why I Really Am Quitting Social Media, where she explained that she was doing this for her 12-year-old self. She said she was becoming so obsessed with the internet personalities that she felt like she had become one. She went on to expose brands, sponsored posts, product placements, and just influencers in general. But she ended up creating a website called Let's Be Game Changers, which also resulted in her leaving that as well. She then went on to get a job at a local bar and said she wanted to pursue writing full-time. Taking over number 2 is Kev Jumba. His real name is Kevin Wu, and he is one of the most mysterious vanishing acts in YouTube history. He was once one of the biggest channels on YouTube. Back in 2008, his channel had the 3rd most subscribed channel on the platform, and people loved his blogs and music video parodies. But then in 2015, it was reported that he was hit by a car in LA and that he broke his spine and that his lungs collapsed. So his videos went silent for a while, but no one knew what fully happened. Like, was he gonna return? Like, what's going on? Turns out he actually checked himself into a mental health facility because the injuries sent him into a depression. During that time, rumors were spreading like crazy, claiming that he was dead and that he had joined some strange cult. The truth was that he was very much alive, and he actually joined Buddhist organizations that he says were not a cult at all. In the number 1 spot is Jenna Marbles. This one hit the YouTube community recently after she posted an emotional video saying she was leaving her channel behind. It came after people started exposing some of her old content, which came across as problematic. She's been on the platform for over 10 years, and some of her old content involved blackfacing and racist jokes towards Asian people. Things got so intense for her that she decided it was time to leave the YouTube world. In her video, she took full responsibility for her actions and apologized for being insensitive. She said she did not want to hurt anyone and those were never her intentions. We're still not sure if this means she will never come back to YouTube, but like, we are hoping she makes a return when she's ready. She was one of the first YouTubers I ever saw. I'm not even kidding. Starting the countdown at number 10 is Danny Lloyd. He became a child star after he took on the iconic role as Danny Torrance in the 1980 movie The Shining. Maybe you've wondered whatever happened to him after he took on that huge role. Turns out he gave up on his acting career quite young and went down a completely different path. He is now a biology professor at a community college in Kentucky. He worked on a farm, he says, to pay his way through university. He's also a dad now to 4 children, so he is living a very busy life of a working father. When the new Dr. Sleep movie came out in 2019, people thought he was going to return to reprise his role since it featured footage and paid tribute to the original story. He decided to sit this one out, but he was very supportive of the new movie and said he knew that they would do a good job with casting regardless. Man, how do you not reprise that role? That would have been so cool! All these years later, you get to take on the most iconic movie. Come on, man. Coming in next, number 9 is Kevin Jonas. He was once a member of one of the biggest heartthrob boy bands in the world, the Jonas Brothers. After their band broke up, his brothers Joe and Nick both went on to have their individual music careers, but he disappeared from the spotlight. He did return for their epic reunion tour last year, which I went to, but what has he been doing all this time and where is he at now? For starters, he is married with 2 kids, 2 little girls who we actually got to see in their tour promo video. And after the band broke up in 2013, he's been very busy with a few different business avenues. One that he has been invested in the most has been his company called Jonas Werner. It is a real estate development and construction company that he established. He is also the co-CEO of a company called The Blue Market, which is a communications company that focuses on social media growth. In spot number 8 is Mara Wilson. At some point in your life, you have probably wondered whatever happened to Matilda. I know I have. The movie is one that people still talk about today, and a scene from the movie even became a viral trend online. People began to dance around and pretend to make objects move, similar to how Matilda did in the movie. So what is the iconic actress up to these days, and where has she been all this time? Turns out she decided to quit the business just a few years after Matilda was released. Along the way, she found a passion for writing, and she started to write her own novels. One of the novels was actually a life update. She titled it, Where Am I Now? True Stories of Girlhood and Accidental Fame. In it, she shared her experience as a young star and what made her decide to quit in the first place. Outside of writing, she lives a very normal, quiet life, which she is okay with. Oh, if they did a Matilda remake, bruh, just hire me. I have the bow and everything. I do look like little Matilda in the movie. You haven't seen—
No, I said I could see that.
Oh, Chris, I thought you just said you haven't seen it. Like the little, when she wears little bows and had short brown hair, that was me as a kid. Swiping the number 7 spot is Kirk Cameron. He was once a huge sitcom star after his role on the series Growing Pains. The show began in 1985 and was dominating the television ratings. Kirk joined the cast when he was just 14 years old, and at first he was mesmerized by Hollywood and all the benefits of fame. But then he started to resent it and chose to go down a completely different path. Rather than making audiences roll with laughter, he wanted to bring them to the Lord. That is right, he went from sitcom star to evangelist. He formed an organization with a fellow pastor called The Way of the Master, where they would educate and preach the message of Christianity to non-believers. His most recent job is running a marriage workshop called Living Room Reset, where he uses his spiritual teachings to help couples in need. Ain't that the life change? Moving on to spot number 6, we have Dylan Sprouse. If you don't know who he is one of the twin brothers from the hit Disney Channel show The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. At the height of his career, it was reported that he was making $40,000 per episode, so it was shocking when news broke in 2011 that he and his brother were leaving their roles for good. They both went quiet for a while, and although we see his twin brother in the Netflix series Riverdale, Dylan left acting and pursued a normal career. Turns out that Dylan went to study at NYU and he developed a passion for brewing. So he worked hard and created his own brewery called the All Wise Brewery. Fans only knew about it because in 2013, some of them posted pictures online after they spotted him pouring lattes and serving beer, which would be really cool. I would lose my mind. I was a big fan of that Disney show. Please serve me a latte. How cool would that be? And beer. Halfway through the list, number 5 is Lo Bosworth. You might remember her from her days on the MTV reality series Laguna Beach and The Hills. She was the ride or die BFF to Lauren Conrad, and fans loved seeing them on their screens every week. But she was one of the original cast members who did not return to the reboot show in 2019 called The Hills New Beginnings. That's because she is too busy working on her career that has no room for reality TV anymore. She started her own women's wellness company back in 2016 called Love Wellness. You can buy everything from vitamins, pH balancing cleansers, and other lifestyle and beauty products. When she was asked why she did not come back for the new show, she said, "When you participate in a show like that, you generally don't have creative control over how you and your character is portrayed on TV. To not be able to be in control of my own narrative is just way too risky for me at this point." You know what? I was really bummed that her and Lauren did not return to the show, but good call. Up next, number 4, we have Frankie Muniz. He was known for being Malcolm on the classic TV series Malcolm in the Middle. The show ran from 2000 to 2006 and is basically what put him on the map and made him a household name. He had a wildly successful career, which is why people were stunned when articles started surfacing saying Frankie Muniz trades acting for olive oil. That is right, he and his wife, Paige Price, own an olive oil shop called Outrageous Olive Oils and Vinegars in Old Town Scottsdale. Apparently, if you go, you might actually see him working behind the cash register. The now 34-year-old says, "We had been customers at the store before and we just knew we liked the product and we wanted to do something together. Now it's become our lives." He said he could see himself being a business owner for a while because he found a love for accounting and was interested in running the payroll side to things. Very random. So random. I can't believe that still. Taking over the number 3 spot is Jason Manford. The English comedian, singer, actor, television presenter, and radio presenter gave up all his titles and started to work a regular job. You might still see him popping up here and there once in a while with some things, but he announced to his fans that he got a job as a delivery truck driver. He said that he applied to a company called Tesco but got rejected, so he applied to Iceland Foods instead, the frozen food chain. He posted a photo of himself on his first day and said, "Funny how life turns out. Thanks to the staff at Iceland Foods for being so welcoming today. It was a fun morning delivering to your lovely customers." Definitely not the job most of his fans expected him to apply to when leaving his life of fame, but honestly he seems really happy, and that is all that matters. Rolling into number 2 is Vanilla Ice. He was hot stuff in the 90s. He was topping the charts with his music. His song Ice Ice Baby was his first single to reach the top of the US Billboard charts. He basically skyrocketed into fame at that time, but his music career was very short-lived. He ended up leaving music and turned his focus to jet skiing and motocross racing, but then he went down a dark path filled with drugs and his career started to collapse. He could have gotten back into his career once he got sober, but instead he decided to live a more normal life and is now working as a lighting salesman. He started working for a company called Capital Lighting in Florida, and he designed what he calls Vanilla Ice lighting, which is a line of different chandeliers. That ad is so weird. There's like this lighting ad and it's like, it's just so weird to see Vanilla Ice selling like lights. Moving into the number 1 spot is Jon Gosselin. You would better know him as Jon and Kate +8. He was on the reality series with his wife and 8 children for over 11 seasons after it premiered back in 2007. But things got bad in their marriage in more recent years and they split up, causing their show to come to an end. So, what did he turn to after his reality stint was done? Stripping! That is right, the father of the famous 8 left Hollywood and went to Atlantic City where he made his debut as a stripper in Caesars Atlantic City. He performs in a show called Untamed Male Revue, which is a burlesque style, and it is said to be a mix of what you see in Magic Mike and Thunder from Down Under. In all fairness though, he might still have some fame, like in the strip clubs, but I don't think his life in Hollywood will ever be the same again. Oh my god, imagine your dad went on to become a stripper. I just thought of that, like the 8 children, like, oh, what's your dad do for a living? Oh man, that's a hard pill to swallow. I do not want to see my dad doing anything from Magic Mike. Alright.
But before I go, I'm going to shout out some comments from celebrities we need to forget about next year. Snoot said, yes, but I propose the list be way bigger than 10. I feel like we could definitely make a few parts of this. People we need to forget about in 2022. A lot of people. Vanessa said, Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly. Preach to that. I don't know, they just annoy me. Kind of like Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles. I don't like them either. Both those couples annoy me. Just go away. And MLG Gamer said, yeah, let Haley and Justin enjoy their relationship. I agree. I mean, if they're doomed, they're doomed. We don't need to comment on it. Yeah.
I'm going to end this video now by responding to some of your comments. Kim Klein says, I think you would make a perfect Esmeralda Joss. Go get that role, girl. Listen, that would be an absolute dream. Although I don't want to sing, so maybe we could have like someone do the voiceover work and I'll just be her. Carmen Carlton said, your hair and blouse look great. Really nice look. Well, thanks. I felt like Hillary Clinton that day. Like her look, not her as a person. Let's just clear that up. Vikings TV says, Jocelyn is now my favorite host. Now? Why now? Who was your favorite host before me? I'm your second choice? Just kidding. Thank you. Kaylee Weber says, yes, I do believe in ghosts, and Joss, your arms look amazing. Well, thank you so much. Fun fact, I actually hate my arms, so that honestly made my day reading that. I'm wearing a sweater to actually hide them. Comments from celebrities Trisha Paytas has exposed. Shenanigan Tracker says, went to school with the chick and she's always been an attention seeker since high school. That is crazy that you went to high school with her. I want some tea. Tell me what she was like. I want to know everything. Thomas Baker says, now Trisha is gonna make a video exposing everyone who hosts Top 10 Beyond the Screen. Well, bad press is still press, so I don't mind. Come on, Trisha. No, she put the videos out there. I'm just, saying what it was. Cena McMillan says, I never watched a video of any of these people, but somehow I am always informed about their drama. Well, that is the world of YouTube. We pass around a lot of information. Michelle Carter says, I'd rather not to do a deep dive on Trisha if you don't mind. I'm so sorry. It is already too late. It's already out there. The list is done. I already did a video with some comments from celebrities worse than Ellen. Debbie Day says, the only one I have trouble with is Franco because I really like him. Honestly, man, me too. Like, incredible actor. I think we all liked him until we found out this information. Casey Bennett says, hey Joss, is that Sarah Jessica Parker on your sweatshirt? Yes, it is. You got it right. Not this one. Shawn Thompson says, you can't say or on YouTube. Alright guys, we are getting flooded with comments right now because you have noticed there's more bleeping in our videos. YouTube has new policies and they are now flagging any type of controversial words, so unfortunately we have to bleep them. That is not our decision, that is YouTube's new policies. Mom by the Sea says bacon is bacon even in Canada, but Canadian bacon is ham. See Chris, they settled it for us.
Now we know.
So bacon is just bacon, but when people say Canadian bacon, they're talking about our ham. I get it. Thank you for clearing that up. Chloe Couture. Whoa, I said that weird. Crookshank. Lucas Crookshank. One of those will do. Just put them all in there. 14 years old. I was probably wearing diapers at 14. After 11 years of collaborating with his co-creator, this side is just gonna get chopped right off my head. You're gonna do it for me. No! Oh, you crack-a-lackin' that pop? A little. Okay. Just like that? I haven't done those in a while. Kendall Jenner has nothing on me. Mysterious vanishing acts on YouTube? No. Okay, I don't know what I'm saying.